The horse in 2024 has 11 negative stars. That's right, 11 shitty stars in the year of the wood dragon. Now what should you do about it? Can you turn this into an opportunity instead? Stay tuned to find out. Now, when it comes to astrology, you have to decide whether you are an optimistic, positive person or a pessimistic, negative-oriented person. Because this approach decides how you see and read astrology signs. In astrology, every animal sign in the year will have its fair share of so-called positive and negative stars. It's just that for those born under the sign of the horse, there are only 2 positive stars as opposed to 11 bad guys, okay? Now, if you're one of those that are generally a bit more pessimistic and negative oriented, then of course you'll be like, oh no, it's going to be a bad year, tell me all the bad things, what should I avoid, what should I avoid, what should I not do? Listen, if you are one of those that are more optimistic and say, bring it on, then this year can still be a fantastic year, because all we need to do is focus on the 1 or 2 things that are positive in a year. As long as we focus on those that are good and put our energy there, it can still turn out to be a fantastic year. And that's how it should be when we are looking at astrology. Listen, astrology doesn't give you bad luck. Astrology is just information so that you know what to do or you can make better choices in the year. It is not there designed to give you bad shit every single year. No one is born with a bad chart, but they can make bad decisions in life, and because of bad decisions, then they end up having a very negative experience in this lifetime. But if you make better decisions, it's going to turn out to be fantastic. Okay? So for those born under animal sign of horse, there are a list of negative stars. Okay, I know I start the other animal signs by looking at the positive, but just look at the negative first. You have instability, which talks about fluctuations of emotions. Funeral door and earth funeral basically indicates that there are a lot of situations where you meet dead ends and possibly feel that they can't do anything about it, so there are certain frustrations and suffering when it comes to emotional matters. Great Shah, flying chase and blood knife generally denotes health aspects that, all of a sudden that you need to take note of, and maybe it's not even your problem, but it's other people's problem that are within your care that now becomes your responsibility. Calamity Shah, separating age prison star, basically denotes being trapped in a situation that you didn't voluntarily get into, but because it's presented to you in such a way you felt that that situation is not advantageous to you. And finally, you have the Red Chamber Star, which back in those days, it denotes very bad decisions when it comes to relationship, and sometimes because of that, there are a lot of animosity and problems. Now, having said that, the good news is, I like the Relief God Star that is positive in the horse for 2024. Now, this star is particularly favorable for solving problems. So think about it. Life can only be better when you confront and solve the problems that are holding you back. Yes or no? A lot of times, it is not that massive problem that is causing you whatever setbacks that you have. It is not that major catastrophe that is causing you. If you think about it carefully, life, it's not as great as you want it to be. It could be because of many small but chronic problems in our life. You think about it, right? It's the small stuff that we often don't handle and don't want to fix that eventually led us to the undesirable outcome of wherever we want to be right now. So this would be a great year, the great opportunity to go and fix all this problem. So if this is something to do with your health that has been chronic all this while, now it's time to look for the right doctor. Now it's time to say, the previous medication is not working. I'm going to re-look into this and adopt a new lifestyle, a new medical treatment. This would be a great time for you to solve it because you have the Relief God. The Relief God star is a star that says, you see the problem, then you fix the problem. Okay? So the first step is to acknowledge that you have the power to actually change these problems that are chronic in your life, okay? Now, if you say, well, career has always been a problem. I've been living on paycheck to paycheck all the time. You don't know how it feels like shit. Well, it's time to look at what's causing this. Is it because of certain lack of skill set? the lack of knowledge, know-how, network, or maybe there's certain things that you really need to fix. So take a step back and look at the situation from the perspective of neutrality and really see that, hey, you know, what can I do in this situation to make it better? This is the time for you to handle this. Fix your health matters if you have these chronic issues, right? Take the next step forward. It's not about the next 10 step forward. What's the next right step forward? That's the same with your career decisions. And if that relationship has been bothering you for a long, long time, maybe it's time to move on. You see, I'm not the type of astrologer that says, you have to stick in one relationship for the rest of your life. If something is really not working out and you've tried your best, it is time to move on. So relief God means it's time to say, you know what? We're still friends. Let's do something different. Maybe our path is better off in a different direction, right? Or if you can still fix it because it's a minor issue, it's just because, everyone's ego is in place. Maybe you want to give it one last shot and say, let's talk about these 3 things or these 4 things and let's settle this once and for all. Or maybe it's time for you to fix that house that you need to fix, right? Maybe it's in this order because no one sets the boundaries right. So Relief God Star is one of the stars that says, look at the problem, don't evade the problem, fix the problem. If I can't fix the problem, then find out what skills and knowledge do I need to fix this problem or who can help me, and I make an effort to go and look for that one person. Okay? Now, the good thing about this year as well is that you have the 8 seeds. The 8 seeds is a star that talks about fame. Now you may think, how can I actually achieve fame when I have all these problems to solve this year? Well, this is 2 separate matters. The 8 seeds is a star that for influencers, they love, the attention and getting recognition. So if you are an influencer or you're working towards social media or you're trying to build a recognition for the work that you do, you might actually attract a lot of attention. So remember, it's important that you be strategic when you want to achieve a certain level of attention, because this might be, sometimes if you're not careful with it, whatever you create might actually, become detrimental to you, right? So if you are more deliberate about positioning yourself in society, in your social media, maybe that actually turns out to be a much better outcome for you and brings in better opportunities. So this is a good star to actually use. Now, in terms of spiritual matters, you have the Heavenly Banker star. Now, what does that mean? That means you have access to spiritual wealth. What is spiritual wealth? Knowledge, experiences, know-hows, and a good affinity. So if you can't find or you find it difficult to access what we call worldly wealth, on the spiritual realm, you could access heavenly wealth. Heavenly wealth is other people's experiences, collective knowledge, right? Collective information and support. So maybe if you just calm yourself down and do a little bit of inward searching, you will always find that the love and support has always been there. In fact, this year you have access to that sort of wealth. And when the spiritual wealth improves, you get to see that your world will also transform. You will see that these problems are actually possibilities for you to actually make improvements in your life. You need to fix this to get to the next level, okay? All right, now let's look at how the horse would reveal itself in different sections of your astrology chart. So the horse can appear in the year of birth if you're born in the year of the horse, but you can also be born in the month of the horse if you're born somewhere between June to July 6, for example, or if you are born on the day of the horse, like so, or if you're born in the hour of the horse. Now, if you don't know this, look at the link that's on your screen right now or on the comment section where you can click and go to the astrology BaZI plotter. Plot your destiny chart based on your year, month, day, and hour of birth, and you will be able to see clearly how many animal signs are across your year, month, day, hour, and even your luck cycle, okay? That gives you a better view, the full view of your chart. Now, if you have the horse in your year pillar, then it is possible that you are able to find people to help you. Be sure to connect with people, all right? Make it an effort to be in the right community. Of course, it won't be the same community that you grew up with or you're comfortable with, all right? For someone else to enter your life that can help you, first you have to be open to meeting new people. So that's how you find the relief to your problems, by finding new solutions from different people, different communities in your life. Now, if it appears in your month pillar, that means you're born in the month of the horse, there is a lot of fixing that you need to do in your career and your business. It is time to look at maybe freedom of time. Maybe how you could free yourself from a lot of mundane work by getting the right people involved. How do you restructure your work so that your work become more efficient and effective instead of wasting time on mundane stuff? An example of this would be, you could spend a lot of time learning how to create a website, or you can hire someone to actually do a website for you for a fraction of the price, because your hours are actually worth much more than that, right? So a lot of times people don't see that because they are very involved in the small things. So this will be a great time for you to look at what hurts you is because you're spending time trying to do a lot of things yourself, but it's time for you to find the right person into your team and your work. And if the horse appears in the day of birth like so, well, this is the time where you need to explore your relationship matters. If you are in a relationship and you're going through a lot of things that are bothering you, there's some issues, there's some problems, it is time for you to fix it. How do you fix it? Well, it's time for you to face the problem. Is it your problem, or is it something that you're willing to, change or let go? If you cannot do that, then call it a day, right? What's the point of being in a relationship hoping that the other person will change? Sometimes the relief God says it is a great ending because it allows you to start something new. Again, it depends on what situation you're in, but remember, the whole idea here is to eliminate the pain so that you can live a pain-free life. And that includes relationship as well. Now, if it appears in the hour pillar like so, then this will be a great time for you to maybe let go some of the older assets that you have. It's time to cash out on some of those assets or cash out on a certain idea. It will be a great opportunity for you to maybe sell that idea in exchange for maybe funding, or maybe to move on to a new platform. For example, you have an idea about something, you have a project or something, or a business that you want to sell. This might be a good year for it because you have the 8 seats, which means you have the attention now, people who can actually afford to buy, or the right people do come out. Listen, sometimes people will say, I can't find people to buy my company. Then first question, then ask yourself, who needs your company? If you cannot answer that question, you will not find a buyer. All right? This is very, very important for you to think about. Now, if you want to get more details, not just about the horse, but other animal signs that are in your BaZI chart, click on the link that you see on the screen right now. It leads you to the Thriver's Guide for 2024. The Thriver's Guide is a book that me and my team have written, and it has a lot of nice infographics and charts about the forecasts and outlook for 2024. All the animal signs and the feng shui and all the information that you need is in there. Read that book and you get a glimpse into the outlook for 2024. And don't forget, you also have an opportunity to subscribe to our monthly membership called Tribe Plus. Now in Tribe Plus, this is where you'll be getting monthly forecasts based on your personal astrology chart. So check that out. Now, if you're not already done so, remember to smash the like button for this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates like this throughout the year. Thank you so much for watching, and here's wishing you a healthy and fabulous 2024.